Okay, we're back with a perfectly respectable amount of toys. Not too many, not too little. Rare. Very good. Let's just start with the one thing in your field of view. This is the Vivian Marionette. It was on eBay. It was a bit much. I offered little. They did not take it. I offered a little less, and they took it. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a girl. You know, I don't really know what to say. I have both Belladuck marionettes now. So, that's good. The fabric strings are nice, so it doesn't get tangled. And the hook it has, it's also very good, because the Belladuck Lion has neither of those things and gets tangled, and I had to just smush it somewhere. A clip of this will come. I will be setting up my white background probably after this, since I filmed most things in this video on black already. Yeah, not very rare, but kind of just that. It was like 20 bucks. Alright, we're just gonna get into all the ornaments. There are only two, but it can be all of them. First is not the Purple Paradise. This is not the toy from Baby Santa 2004. It is not exact, but it can try. It can really try, in fact. The only major differences are the glitter pattern being different and the purple being more glossy, or being less glossy than Santa. It's more frosted. It's a bit beat up, but it was less than 10 bucks total, so I couldn't really pass it up. And you know, I made it look good as usual, so yeah. I know Godfather's is closer, but only barely. It is still not it, which is very sad. But, you know, it might as well be. I still don't know why that's unfound. It's really random. I feel like it should be found by now. Like, some toys I get why they're unfound, and then others are just like, why? Like, the Bryn Brown Bear powder from Santa 04, why is that unfound? It's like nowhere. Well, actually, not like nowhere, it is nowhere. Anyways, we have a fun story. Here is Snowflake. It is very close to the one from Santa 04, and I found out a lot about it. So, this was on Mercari. I looked late one night and kind of just found this, but it was still something. I bought it. It was $4, and in this $4 lot, they also gave us this snowflake ornament. It's very hard to see, but it's like gold and kind of atomic. And then they also gave me this peacock tin, which is really good for, I don't know. Not really sure what to do with it, but it's too nice to throw away. Oh. So, after getting that, I found a lot on eBay with 2 of these, 3 random snowflakes, and the exact model. But the lot was a lot. It was like 23 plus 18 shipping, and I just was not really going to pay that. So I first tried to see if they'd just separate the one exact snowflake, and they said no, and then I just said, hey, the shipping's $18, do you think you can fix that? And they were gonna, and then they never got back to me. Then the listing ended, and then they put it back up, and then it ended again, and now it's gone. So it's weird, but one thing to note about that listing is that this has a silver metal frame, which is exact to Santa after some careful observation. And the ones in the lot had a gold frame, so technically they wouldn't have been exact anyways. And I mean, I could have sold the other 2, but the other 3 were completely useless and stupid, and it was just too much. So I don't really regret it. This is nice enough. I still don't know who it's by, but it's very big. They call this large flat glass snowflake in the toy chest, and it is large. It is flat. I don't know if it's glass. It's got this weird, like, stringy pattern. I don't really know if that's glass. I don't think it is, but I'm not sure what material it is. And it says it's by Regency. I don't know who the hell Regency is. I tried to look into them. Nothing. So I'm just going to believe them. It can be by Regency if they want it to be. So, cool ornament. Very big. Very cheap. Very good. Clips already came out, and I am very proud of the clips for these. Okay, here's a fun story. Another fun story. We had 2 in a row. Wow. You may recognize this from Santa Deck the Halls and Jingle Bells. This is the I think it's like Hanging Snowflakes World Decoration or something. That's his official name. And this was unidentified for a while, but then we were looking at a channel called Miles Nas Chandler. And he had this. We figured it was rare as hell, very old. It's on Amazon. It's still being made. This is what they look like entirely. I already did a shit ton of clips of them in one big compilation, but these are really nice and not a crystallite. They're holographic, so they do reflect light like crystallites do. There's currently a 4-pack of them on Amazon for $5 with 8 left, and then there's a 8-pack of them on eBay for $7, which is a better deal, but I don't know if you need 8. I'm actually thinking about getting that because I have an idea to make a crystallite type thing, which I think would be really cool, because these do look like crystallites, but they're not. So glad these are finally identified. Thank you to Miles Nas Chandler, who may be watching this video. And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they're still being made, and I wonder if this was the exact model used before, like if they just took off this surprisingly decent spiral part. I'm actually impressed at how good it is. I figured it'd be terrible. Or it was just a snowflake back then and we'll never know. It does come in 2 colors. There are 2 white and 2 blue in the packs of 4, and then multiply that if you buy 8. The blue is pretty similar, the string's tangled, but oh well. And then the spiral is just half blue, half silver. Though I noticed the light wasn't reflecting as good as it is now in the clip I did, so that's interesting. But I don't really think I'm gonna redo it. I don't know though. Maybe I will. I'll think about it. But probably not, because I just really don't care. Okay, and now we've got 2 sillies. Alright, first off, we've got silly number 1. He has a nice trimmed haircut. I'm sure he obeys all the laws and gets good grades with his boring haircut. Very boring. And then we've got the Rebel with this haircut. He probably does drugs or something. Now these are the Mary Meyer Barnyard Knuckleheads ducks, which are almost rare. Like almost. I don't know if they're rare or not, to be honest, but they were on eBay. They've been on for a while. I've been eyeing them for a while. And I finally got them. It was 17 total with everything for both of them. I will be selling one, but I don't know when, because I might have someone already interested in them. I'll have to contact them though. I really love the use of these in NA04. Instead of the Quack Quack Ducky, you know, moving like it does, you know, crazily, they just make this jump across the screen with stop motion. I can't really do stop motion. I'm not going to edit it to do stop motion, but it's just like this. Obviously without the hand moving, it just kind of appears and goes and whatever, but it's really, really useless, and I just think it's funny. They're of course finger puppets, but I guess they couldn't be used as such. Although in all fairness, the rabbit ears weren't either, and those are actually decent, so but yeah, if these are available, well, if this is available, because I'm not just keeping one, you will see them on eBay. But I don't know. Alright, we've got more of my favorite. Fully unironic, actually. These are laser dazers, excuse me. I already did clips of these, but they were sold on eBay. They're $5 each plus 6 shipping each. So they ended up being $23. I asked to combine shipping, as I always do, pro tip, and he said, I can, but I can't refund you the difference on eBay. I have to send you a check for the refund. You know, because everyone's doing that nowadays. I mean, I don't really know why he did that. It's not easier. It's not easier for any of us. But I got my refund, and this one ended up being 17 total. So, very nice. I already did clips of them. I used this ramp walker block to spin them on, actually. I've been using a bigger thing before for the other ones, but now that I found this, you cannot see the block, and it is a bonus. The light's not really going on them that great, so you can't see them well, but you can watch the clip compilation, which is better. These are very cool, and they are not BE as far as I know, because this one, first off, has 1987 DZ Co. on it, so that's not Lightrix, and the other one, I believe I saw in a packaging for Laser Dazer, another Spintrix disc equivalent. But they're still cool regardless, and you wouldn't really be able to know better. Alright, now we've got one of the required lighting options for each month. Every month is required to have at least one weird light and one weird hanging thing. Here's the weird hanging thing, and here's one of the two weird lights. Now, because the lights are on, this does not look good, but this is a motion lamp. I'd actually gotten this exact model from Studio Pappagallo when they were still selling decent stuff, but it was European and it didn't work with the heat because it's heat powered. So I got this from Facebook. It was $28 total, and unfortunately for some reason it just does not spin on its own. That right there was of course me spinning it. It'll go for a bit, but I don't really know what I'm doing wrong with it not going on its own. It's still nice and I did clips of it, but it is not perfect. One thing to note is that it's got this weird consistent dent through the middle, which I would think was an accident, but it's almost perfectly the same pattern through the entire thing. I tried to ask for tips on how to get this working and everyone just said, good luck, pretty much. They're not consistent at all, so just kind of wing it, and it's not like I can't film a clip if it doesn't spin on its own, because I already did. You could just spin it manually. It's not that hard. But yeah, it's not my favorite model of this. The spiral model is better, but it was cheap, it's rare, it's valuable. If I ever really don't want it, I can sell it. So, it's cool. Had to stop the camera. Let me turn this off and get it out of here. Okay, we are close to done, actually. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things left. Here's one of them, and it's the other weird light. Now, I reviewed something similar to this a few months ago. It was like a ball version from St. Nick's, and unfortunately, the camera cannot really process it fully. At least it couldn't on the other one. It's actually doing better on this. It's a 3D star lantern, and I mean, you can see what it does. It actually is fine with this camera. The other thing I had like it, which had the same, you know, type of lighting, did not show up well on camera with the frame rate, so I could not really easily film it. I think I got a clip or two up, but that's about it. This was found on a late night Mercari binge. It was the only thing I found. It was different from the Snowflake time. But it was very nice, and it was $7, and they shipped it in the box it was in, so I just threw away the box. And that throwing away of the box makes this the first review in forever to not have a box featured in it. I'll have to look at the stats for that, but it has been a long time. Now that I know this works on camera, I'll film it soon, maybe today. It actually worked with this old Sony camera that's surprisingly decent. I've been using to film lava lamps, but I figured it wouldn't work with this, so I didn't do anything with it. But it actually does. Not much else to say. It's cool. I feel like I can get it somewhere else, but it's not $7. There's also from Dave & Buster's, which is weird. Okay. I can hear my mom trying to take a nap, and that's really bad news for this next toy. Actually, these next 3 toys. Well, one of them not of it. This is the Happy Apple Tree. I already did a clip compilation on this, and you'd think this was a very tough find to get. You know, had to go through Europe and other Europe and wherever, but no, it was on eBay US for $8. And it is worth noting that it was listed as not working, and even if it was listed as not working, I can still do this. And there's a lot of settings you can change. You can move this guy, you can move this thing so they can go down. You can move this thing so they can go down. I feel like there's another. Oh yeah, there's a. You can move these things. There's a lot you can do, and I'm trying to rotate it to avoid the light reflection being so bad. But I'm just going to turn it on for a second because, again, Mother's sleeping. I don't know why she picked this time. It's her fault somehow. But before I do, I'll explain how I actually fixed it. It's a very, very long story. I unscrewed this and I popped a gear back into place and it was fine. It was the easiest fix of all time. The actual motor, as you just heard there, is not actually that noisy, but the ball action is noisy. Okay. I have to turn it off to speak because it's so loud. Ish. But I absolutely loved this thing. It was I was debating buying it, but because it was rare and from a video I grew up with, Baby Preschool, I just bought it. But I am very glad I bought it because it does work and it's cool as hell. And even if it didn't, I'd still be able to make it work with the crank. There's so many moving parts in it. I mean, B did us a travesty by not having this in a video, to be honest. You know, their Dayang toys are cool. Like the Space Presentation between Ball Factory are nice, and the others are, because they always break. But this clears those in my opinion for sure. It's cool as shit, and like I said before, I'm really glad to have it, and it goes high up on that shelf over there by the Sevi. Yeah, that over there. All right. Second, actually no, there's 3 toys left, but one is very important. Here's the Singing in the Rain Dog Red, and this is on Mercari. It was a bit much, but I got it down to 27 total, and I mean, I have all 3 now, which is pretty good, so I think it was worth it. And a bonus, it actually works. My yellow, I think, is just corroded batteries, and my blue doesn't work at all, so I can't really do a clip of all of them, but you can get this. It's a bit dirty and worn with all the red peeling coming off, but it does work. I wish I could turn the music off. They're real nice. It's actually pretty quiet other than that. It's also worth noting that his arms are shaved, which I think is very cruel. He did not deserve that. Yeah, you can see here, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a bunch of red shavings and shit from it. It does unfortunately shed. There's also a tag from it. Let me go grab that, it's right here. If you thought you liked Singing in the Rain Dogs, this one is unfortunately Swinging in the Rain. And it's by a company called Coins. I went on their way back and they had a bunch of like Christmas decor and shit. But no dog. I didn't notice this. I'll have to see if this Warehouse 104 means anything, but I mean, I don't know what else they would have made. Maybe it's just this. So, glad to have all 3. Kind of something to check off the list, and it was a decent price. Plus it works, so that's always a bonus. Okay, second to last thing, we've got... Yes, the greatest toy of all time, the small, helpless, miserable duck from LN04. This is not from a mirror, it's from a gym, and you can see the hanging thing here, as well as the super long tag. Why? It's almost longer than the entire toy. This is the general idea of it. Yeah, not much, but it was $6 total on eBay, so I wasn't going to pass it up because it's rare enough and very silly. I mean, look, you combine all 3 of these dudes, this is silly off the charts. It's crazy. But literally nothing to say other than what I said, which was a lot, so. Moving on to the final toy, I'll need to zoom out the camera. This is the Ramp Racer from Van Gogh. I was about to say 04, but that 04 one is screwed up. This, I want to thank Nathan for this and the Vivian, because I didn't already. But this was $7 plus $5 shipping, and I don't know how they did it. Because this did not cost $5 to ship. I mean, I've got my methods to get it down to like 10, but there was no way this was $5 to ship. Like, I'm really glad to have it, and I would have paid it probably up to 30, but 13 total is also good. Now you may be shocked to hear this, but the cars go down. I will say the noise it makes when they do that is pretty satisfying. I always mute my clips now, but if there was one I was gonna not mute, this would have been it. Also, the reason I mute my clips is because of one I recorded a while back where my mom was talking to Ringo like a minion. She's asleep, so she can't hear that. But overall, a good month. It started off very slow because most of these were in the second half of the month. But just enough to tide me over until, like, I don't know. I have a lot of stuff coming from Glow because they're having a bunch of sales. But I don't have an international order and I don't have much else, so that is it, with one exception. It's currently in the mailbox, but I didn't feel like walking 10 minutes to get it. I know, that's very weird, because Arizona is very weird. But you will see that shortly with the power of editing a clip that is recorded about 2 hours later from when this is. So, I will go over to that. By the power of editing, I bring you sparkling trees. They're actually twinkling lit shrubs green, but I don't really care. Kind of stupid, not gonna lie. I figured they'd flash faster. But, I mean, they were $12, so oh well. They've got, I can't tell if it's snow or dust on them. It's weird. I think this light is supposed to work and it's not. I don't know exactly what they're supposed to do, but it looks alright. I have the bigger, more notable ones coming in the mail. Also, I should mention, the shedding is real. There's a lot of shedding of tree particles. It's very bad. But anyways, that's all for June toy review, and this actually proves me wrong that there was no box of the toy in this video, because this came. So, yeah. Not much to say, good toy review. I will see you soon, with some clips and whatever. Goodbye.